So this is how to set up narrative for VR. So I've got just a character in my scene, already put player me avatar. I've basically just got a basic on component begin overlap component, just the normal setup for a dialogue sequence. See, this variable is public. And then I've got a dialogue here called Tom. And basically in the dialogue graph, I've just got a basic setup for testing purposes. One of the first things I'll just show you in here is to switch off the option, where is it? Yeah, class defaults, and just switch off the narrative default cinecam. Set that to none, and set the camera shake to none, and also do not spawn the dialogue camera. Okay. Next, I'm just going to open up the VR pawn. And from here, I'm just going to add a widget. And that's going to be a child of the camera. Yeah, so on the widget, you can set the draw size to 2048 on the X and the Y. And just type in 77 for the first location, 3 and 10, but you can change these or customize these as you like. The rotation on the Z-axis, just going to set it to -180. And scale, I'm going to set it to 1.45 and 0.065 and 0.065 here. Okay. Next, I'm going to create a widget and then find the narrative default UI widget. You can set this to get player controller. But I think you can leave this blank if you want. And also add in your narrative component here. On this value, you can promote it to a variable and just name it narrative widget reference. I've already set one. So I'll just grab this. And then you can set the widget to this. So it's set widget. Okay. So now the widget's drawn onto the screen in front of the VR camera. So in the VR template, we're gonna change some input settings. We're going to add some new actions in here. So the input action IA underscore narrative enter. Let's do this one. It's called narrative down for the down press, and then narrative up. Next, we're going to go into the data asset input mapping context for the default controls. I'll add in IA underscore narrative enter. and just change this to whatever button you want an Oculus controller for the enter button. So I'm going to choose the right controller's A press. Then you can do this again for down, IA underscore narrative down. Then I'm going to choose the Oculus left controller's X press. Then one more IA underscore narrative up Y press. So that's set up the enhanced input mapping um, for those buttons basically. Then now we just need to make those buttons interact with narrative. So how we're going to do it, and the answer to that is well, you can see here in the default or the narrative default user interface, we can see that it's under input on preview key down. We can see that this is how the current system handles like input. So you can see here the keyboard's enter, the game controller's face button, and it's the same for down. So this is like the mapping context, which is standard, but this doesn't work with the enhanced input system, meaning that in VR these won't work. So if you added like VR mapping context here for your Oculus controller, this wouldn't work. So what you're going to have to do is call each one of these events within your VR pawn. So handle enter key, scroll back and scroll forward. So we'll set that up now. So let's do the narrative enter first. So narrative enter. I'm just gonna set a do once node because this triggers like multiple times a second. We only want to do it once and then reset it. So I'm just gonna do branch and drag in our narrative component and then check if it's in the dialog. So is in dialog here. Then this is true. Trigger the handle enter key, but we need to do it from this. So handle enter key. And you can just print a string if you want. Print string. Just call this enter. So there's the enter key now works. Let's do narrative down. Do once. Then set the scroll back. So we need the widget reference again. So scroll back. And the same for up. Just scroll forward. So that's all set up. The last thing you might want to change is where the widgets sit, and this is completely customizable. So this is basically trial and error. You can change this as you like to make it work for you within VR. Personally, I set this to, let me think. So you can set the alignment differently. I don't know if this is the best way to do this, but you can set the alignment like this. And then for the subtitles, you can align this like this. So we can test it now. Oh, I just need to reconnect this. The narrative shown to the screen. You can click down. And then you can click enter. Working. So again, feel free to customize the widget to suit your own design, and also customize the widget position here, the transform settings as you like. So my settings might not be perfect, but they work well for me. So thanks.